Hi, I'm Mike. When it comes to the tools on the ranch, we have plenty to choose from wrenches and sockets to welders and grinders. But when you're dealing with something the size of the ranch, more than 7 square miles with over 25 miles of fence line alone, what quickly becomes one of the most important tools at your disposal is what gives you the ability to travel from one end to the other, from ravine to hilltop. And today, we take a look at our broke down John Deere Gator, we fix it up, and hopefully get back to work on our Wyoming Life. Welcome back, and I hope you really did have a great week, and thanks for joining us once again. Please subscribe and come along as we continue to explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Coming to the ranch, I had no idea what to expect, but after just one day here, after getting the quick pickup tour from my father-in-law Gilbert, it was soon obvious that the ranch covers some ground. At over 5,000 acres, we're in charge of more than 7 square miles. That's 1/3 the size of Manhattan, or more than 3,000 football fields. I began wondering how you keep track of this much land. How do you make sure that nothing bad was happening over there or over there? I figured out that you can't. Not really. You can't be everywhere at once. Just over that hill there might be a coyote stalking closer to the cows, or a trespasser cutting through, just trying to get from point A to point B. And getting from A to B is a legitimate problem around here. Enter the John Deere Gator, the broken John Deere Gator. The Gator is our primary source of transportation on the ranch. Erin's mom bought it in 2011 as a birthday present for Gilbert, a replacement for his Gator CX that he was known to use daily. I think he drove it twice before parking it in the shop and climbing back on his little Gator. He wasn't too big into change, but he told me that I could use it. And with that, he ushered a tool into use that, at this point, I'm not sure the ranch could do without. In the 8 years that the Gator's been on the ranch, it's logged over 10,000 miles, went through multiple sets of tires, fuel pumps, a starter, shocks, a windshield, and even doors. It's been the workhorse of the ranch from the moment that Gilbert said it was ours to use, and we've almost worked it into the ground. There are multiple stories surrounding the Gator, from a ranch hand rolling it after goofing off and chasing some antelope into a ravine, to doors being ripped off and shattered by the wind. We went through a period of time where we thought either the Gator was cursed or a certain area of the ranch was cursed, because every time we drove through this one area, the Gator would die and refuse to start again. This Gator also took our kids for their very first real look at the ranch, and it's helped me save many newborn calves who might have otherwise never lived. It's a 2010 John Deere 825i Gator. Propelling the Gator is an 815cc liquid-cooled, inline, 3-cylinder engine that has 4 valves per cylinder, dual overhead cams, and electronic fuel injection. All those fancy words push it to just over 44 miles an hour and kick out 50 horsepower and 47 foot-pounds of torque. Ours came with an electric tilt dump bed that has a 1,000-pound capacity that's come in handy many times. It also came with a hefty price tag at right around $11,000. At the time, it seemed excessive compared to the four-wheelers that we were used to using, but over the years, we found that the price was worth it. Ours is pretty basic, although we have modified it over the years. We've added a spotlight to the top to aid in calving, an aftermarket dome light, and LED lights to the front bumper. We've also added a Colpin UTV gun mount, allowing us to safely carry rifles in the cab, as predators on the ranch are always a possibility, from rattlesnakes to badgers to mountain lions. Unfortunately, with hard use also comes downtime. With the Gator, it's been torn apart and rebuilt many different times, and right now, it's broken completely. The water pump has given up the ghost, and you can't drive it more than 5 minutes before it overheats, making it utterly useless on the ranch. With calving coming up, we need the Gator for the storage and for the capability to transport calves, so we need it fixed. Our new water pump has arrived, and our neighbor Gary has offered us the use of his shop to put it in. Now, we could do it here, but Gary has a lift in his shop that'll make the job a whole lot easier. And luckily, Gary's shop is only about a half a mile down the highway. I'll be the first to admit I'm not much of a mechanic, and if problems require diagnostics, I'm not the guy you want working on your stuff. But if I know what's wrong, like a water pump that's leaking and needs replaced, that I can do. Out with the old, in with the new. We start by removing the four-wheel drive shaft. That's going to be totally in the way. Then we take off the alternator and the water pump belt, along with their pulleys. A plastic shield protects the camshaft belt, and once it, along with the tensioner, is gone, we can remove the old water pump. Once the water pump is out of the way, we can completely clean out the old gasket. Then we can gather the parts to put the new pump in. If you can deal with working in small spaces, trying to wiggle in bolts that must have been designed by an engineer on the day his wife left him and his dog died, then you can do this. All it takes is a little bit of patience and the willingness not to pay a mechanic $100 an hour. The new gasket goes in and the pump goes on.
Thank you, sir.
Followed by the cam belt, the dust cover, pulleys, belt, and eventually the four-wheel drive shaft that was in the way. We add some new coolant to replace the stuff we lost, and we fire it up. And like that, and like that, we're gone. But not quite. Always leave your neighbor's shop cleaner than when you found it. Then you can leave and head back home, where the Gator goes immediately back into service, out to check cows that are threatening to start having calves any day now. True that without the Gator, we would find another way to do things. But given the choice between walking, driving a four-wheeler, or using the Gator, I'll take the Gator any day, and as long as it's running. And if it's running, I'm smiling, and everybody's happy. Thanks for coming along today. A few skinned knuckles and a little bit of grease gets us back up and running again. Hopefully, the Gator holds out for the entire calving season. A new engine is in its future, but that's a story for another day. And basically when we don't need it for a while. If you enjoy podcasts, I'd like to invite you to check out Beyond the Ranch. It's Erin and my podcast. You can look, kind of look behind the scenes of running a ranch, YouTube, and marriage, and sometimes how all three can be difficult to manage at the same time. You can find it on iTunes or Google Play or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast just by searching Our Wyoming Life. Please take a minute also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it, and I know you will too. Until next time, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in Our Wyoming Life.